Hey, what's happening, guys? British Film Board website just revealed the names of the deleted scenes for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We've all been really curious what's left there, what we will get with the Blu-ray and DVD release of the film, and of course, here they are. The first deleted scenes is a deleted scene Meg's mother. Of course, we know what this scene is all about. It's Meg's, Dylan's mother, and she forgets about his birthday. Jamie Foxx mentioned this scene quite a lot before the actual release of the film. Really curious to see this scene. Definitely it would serve as a great character development there. Too bad it was cut. Of course, there's also alternate scene Peter visits Harry. This is the scene we've been seeing in all the trailers pretty much. It's the scene with the "isn't that the question of the day?" Quite important scene if you ask me. Too bad it wasn't actually in the film. Another scene is Oxford acceptance. Pretty much Gwen Stacy at Oxford. Something about there which wasn't really necessary according to Mark Webb and Sony to include in the final cut of the film. Alternate scene Birth of the Goblin. Now that's quite interesting. Now of course we know what this means. Dan DeHaan mentioned that there were quite a few takes of this particular scene where he transforms into Goblin once he injects the Goblin serum. The original scene was supposed to be way more gross. He was supposed to smash his own teeth, and the whole scene was pretty much disturbing according to Dan DeHaan. I'm really excited that we're going to see it in the Blu-ray of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Of course, another scene is Peter meets his father. I guess a flashback scene or not, or maybe it's a dream sequence, something there. I doubt that they cut a scene where Richard Parker is revealed to be alive. I mean, really? But probably it's the scene with Peter Parker discovering another video recording of his father. This scene was rumored to be in the deleted scene, and it's probably the case. Another scene is alternate scene Cockpit Discovery. Now that sounds like an important thing to cut. I mean, it's probably Peter Parker discovering the plane's cockpit, the plane where Richard Parker and Mary Parker died. Maybe it was just another hint, a hint that Richard Parker is actually alive. Frankly, the whole parents story, I really hope that they will cut it in The Amazing Spider-Man 3. We won't really get that much of Peter's parents story. We had quite enough, and at this point, if Richard Parker is alive, I don't really care that much. Another scene is deleted scene Flash Forward, which is probably a scene which took place during the 1-year time span when Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy break up and he's still Spider-Man. He's going through some tough times there. Another scene is alternate scene Mayhem in the Morgue. Of course, that's Electro waking up in the morgue. Of course, we know about this scene, we heard rumors about this scene where Electro is supposed to be a dead man and he's in the morgue, and the guy there brings his body, and Electro makes every single electrical object around him turning on, and the morgue guy, he doesn't really notice it. He's listening to his music player, which is, I guess, interesting enough to see as well. Another scene is Missing Each Other. Probably another scene during 1-year time span. Deleted scene is Peter home. Of course, that's the scene which was supposed to originally include Shailene Woodley. That's Gwen Stacy coming there to Aunt May, and she meets Shailene Woodley, which is quite interesting because Shailene Woodley's part was supposed to be completely cut from the film, and Matt Tomac, he mentioned that we won't really see any scene with Mary Jane in the final cut, even in the deleted scenes, even in the director's cut, if there will be one. Or maybe it's not the scene with Shailene Woodley, maybe it's one of the scenes we've actually seen in the set pictures. Gwen Stacy visits Peter and he's there as well, along with Aunt May. Another scene is Chasing Gwen. Really can't say a lot about it. Maybe it's the scene with Green Goblin grabbing Gwen Stacy and flying around the clock tower. Maybe it's something else there. We'll see. Finally, 2 more scenes left. One of the scenes is called Felicia Sees Her Boss. Pretty sure that's Felicia Hardy, or Felicia, how they called her in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. At this point, we still don't know if she's the Black Cat or not. Regardless, it's probably the scene where she explains to Harry that there's a book called Secret Projects, and probably it's just the extended scene. And finally, and probably one of the most important scenes here, is Goblin kills Menken. Of course, that's Goblin killing Donald Menken, something I had no idea about, that there was such a scene. I'm still one of the few guys who believes that Menken might be actually the Vulture. Some speculated, especially after the video game, that Donald Menken will become the Chameleon. And seeing how in the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 3, during this credits CGI sequence, there was a mask which either belongs to Chameleon or Mysterio. Let's see how it will turn out. Regardless, the scene which is called Goblin Kills Menken is probably the scene where Harry Osborn attacks Oscorp. There's a scene with Felicia and he fights a bunch of sweat guys. We've seen the set pictures. This was supposed to be a major scene, a great scene actually. That's great that we will see it in the deleted scene. Now, of course, I'm quite disappointed, I'll be honest, because these are the 13 scenes which were promised to us, but where is the alternate Gwen Stacy death scene? Where are these scenes? I mean, where's the scene with Peter sitting at top of the building? I mean, isn't that the question of the day? Of course, now that we've got the names of this scene, I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed that some of the scenes didn't make it to the final cut of the film, such as Goblin Kills Menken, or Peter discovers the cockpit, or even Max Dillon's mother scene. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 got a lot of hate due to the fact that it was a little bit rushed, especially the character development, so cutting a scene with Max and his mother, a scene which would definitely make a better character development for Max Dillon, or isn't that the question of the day scene which shows us Harry Osborn being a little bit jealous that his father spent more time with Peter, which is also a character development for Harry Osborn, wasn't really that smart. Also, even though the fan movement for the director's cut is quite strong at the moment, we got all the signatures, the whole campaign is going through Twitter, we are tweeting everything to Mark Webb. Even if we won't get the director's cut, I'm pretty sure somebody out there will include the deleted scenes in the actual film, and we will actually get the fan edition of the director's cut of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is of course without Mark Webb's commentary and so on. Still pretty exciting. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Some scenes are very interesting there, such as Goblin Kills Menken. And are you slightly disappointed that we won't see the alternate Gwen Stacy death scene? I mean, we heard so much stuff about it, how it was supposed to be that it's actually Goblin snapping her neck, and a few other variations there. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is set for release on DVD and Blu-ray on August 19th. Thanks for watching, and I'm out for now.